I'm Brooke Walker. I am a graduate of GW with a degree in political science and history, and I am telling the story of Mabel Thurston. So Mabel Thurston, as you probably already know because you go to GW, but she is the namesake of the legendary Thurston Hall. She was actually the first female student here at GW, but it wasn't GW at the time, it was Columbian College. And then they changed it. Her dad was a professor at Cornell and her mom was an author. Her brother also went to the Columbian College and he was a civil engineer. And she was like, hey, if he goes to college at GW, I want to go too. But it wasn't GW, that she wouldn't say that. But if he's gonna go to Columbian College, I want to too. And her parents were like, I guess. So they moved to Washington, D.C. when she was a little teen girl, and her brother went to Columbian College, and she was like, I want to go to school. And she was like, her mom and dad were like, okay, fine, Mabel, like, go to school. And she was like, yeah. The board of trustees and the faculty and the students at GW were like, well, it wasn't GW, Columbian College. Can we like just settle that as GW?
It's GW.
Okay, cool. At what will be named GW later, but at GW, they were like, no, she's a dumb girl. She can't come here because she's distracting us because we're men and we can't have women around us because women will distract the out of us. And she was like, what? I just want to learn. And they were like, fine. So they voted and they were like, fine, Mabel can come like to her brother. They were like, your little dumb sister can come to our club. And she was like, yeah. So, but it was like under a condition. They were like, you can come to school here at GW, but you can't come to class because you're gonna distract the boys. And she was like, fine. And they're like, you just have to meet with the professors at their office hours. And she was like, okay, as long as I can learn. So like, this is all like in the 1890s. So like in like 1891 or something, they were like, all right, Mabel worked out pretty well. It worked, like she's not that bad. Let's let more girls come. And so that's when it got crazy. They admitted 12 more girls and they called themselves the original 13, but they also called themselves the Gang of 13. Have to drink more. So, think about it this way. A bunch of girls right before the turn of the century, here at GW, right on F Street, right outside, like, they're like, yeah, like, we go to GW now, like, we're GW women, but they call themselves the Columbian women. And they were the shit. Okay, they knew their stuff. They were a clique. They were the girls. Like you've seen the movie Mean Girls. Think that, but 13 girls.
But are they like the plastics or are they like the cool girls?
Both. So, they were the Gang of 13. They were tight, super tight clique, and they like watched out for each other. I'm just thinking about like the girlhood of it and like girl power. I love it, like women in solidarity and education. But like, yeah, so they were the original 13 and Mabel was in that. She started that shit. The Columbian women were here. Now I'm here, you know? So yeah. So in the end, Mabel ended up graduating from GW with a degree in Greek. And a rumor has it that like she only studied Greek because she liked the way it looked. She also was really into like Bible study. Like her minister and I guess / professor, I don't know how that, whatever. Her minister was like, yeah, like Mabel, like she just knows the Bible. Like she knows like the stories, the language, the symbolism, the principle. Like she was that girl in high school that's like, yeah, I love Jesus. The Adventure in Faith and The Open Gate to Prayer. And that was like her 2 books that she wrote. So, like her mom's an author and she's like, oh, my daughter wrote a book. And I don't know if her mom was published or not, but she did write these books about, you know, God and religion and the Bible. And she was really into it. Which is funny as we conclude because when the dorm, which is now known as Mabel Thurston Hall, was built. It was originally an all-women's dorm in the 1960s. And so you can like imagine like 60s girls there, but like that's besides the point. So it was called the New Residence for Women. And then Mabel Thurston died eventually, I don't know, after some time. And they were like, yo, why don't we call this lady dorm the first lady that came to GW?
Yeah.
And they were like, hell yeah. And then it became co-ed like after the 60s, I guess in the 70s. Sure. And now, but it's funny because she was all into like religious studies, but Thurston is known as both the most politically active, but also the most sexually active dorm in the world. No. In the US, maybe just in DC. But now it's a depraved den of sin where people lose their virginities every year. And there was once a Thurston ball pit, and Mabel Thurston did not live and die for that kind of depravity.
She's disappointed.
But she's proud, because ladies are getting their education.
She is.
Ladies are getting their education, even though they are also losing their virginity in Thurston Hall. And a lot of ladies wouldn't be able to get it on in Thurston or in the Thurston ball pit if it's still there. It hasn't been there since I was a freshman, but the ladies wouldn't be able to go to Thurston if it wasn't for Mabel Thurston and the Colombian women, the Gang of 13. And we thank her for that shit. And for saying, hey boys, I'm not a distraction. I'm just a girl. Here we are at Thirsty Thurston or Thirsty Thruston, however you want to call it. We're gonna just pour one out for all the original 13, the Gang of 13, just for them. Hey, did you lose your virginity here? Did you lose your virginity here in Thurston? I know a lot. Hey, did you lose your virginity here? I know a lot of you did. Did you lose your virginity here in Thurston? Good. I'm proud of you. So yeah, did you lose your virginity here in Thurston?
What?
Did you lose your virginity here?
Not in Thurston.
Good. Actually, never mind. They proved me wrong. But like, this is to Thurston. The Thirsty 13, the original 13. We love you, Thurston. You define GW. Thank you. Thank you, Mabel. Did you lose your virginity here?